welcome back to a chapter a day. Happy Monday, start of a new work week for those of you who go out into the workplace. And for those of you like me who don't, it's all the same. We have to trudge through it somehow and get through it. So, we'll be reading Joshua chapter 15 today. And we have been reading about a recount of all the countries or cities that Joshua led the children of Israel in conquering. And there have been quite a many. So we're going to continue. This chapter is going to have a lot of names. So I'm not going to read all those names. I may just cut off at a certain verse and then explain to you what's going through with all the names, etc. All right, so let's get started. This then was the lot of the tribe of the children of Judah by their families. Even to the border of Edom, the wilderness of Zin, southward was the uttermost part of the south coast. So what they're recounting here is the dishing up of the land to the 12 tribes. Remember, the Levites will not inherit any of those lands because they are, sanctified mainly for working in the sanctuary. So they are supposed to live off whatever is given by each of the 12 tribes. Verse 2. And their south border was from the shore of the salt sea, from the bay that looketh southward, and it went out to the south side to Mala Akrabim, and passed along to Zin, and ascended up on the south side unto Kadesh Barnea, and passed along to Hezron, and went up to Adar, and fetched a compass to Kakar. I'd say this again. These lands were vast. We cannot even begin to fathom where these lands were actually located. So people who are thinking all of the 12 tribes were concentrated in that little area today that we call Israel, that's erroneous. That's not it. Maybe a tribe was there, but the 12 tribes of Israel were widespread. They had land from one sea coast to another sea coast. So for us to really say that that area was where God promised the children of Israel, that's not a very vast area, okay? And it doesn't really look like it's flowing with milk and honey either. But anyway, moving along. Verse 4. From thence it passed toward Asmon, and went out unto the river of Egypt, and the goings out of that coast were at the sea. This shall be your south coast. And the east border was the salt sea, even unto the end of Jordan, and their border in the north quarter was from the bay of the sea at the uttermost part of Jordan. And the border went up to Beth Hoglah, and passed along by the north of Beth Arabah. And the border went up to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben. And the border went up toward Deber from the valley of Achor, and so northward, looking toward Gilgal, that is before the going up of Adumim, which is on the south side of the river. And the border passed toward the waters of En-Shemesh, and the goings out thereof were at En-Rogel. Now I have a correction to make. I think yesterday I mentioned that the 2.5 tribes, Reuben, Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh got land out of Jericho. That was not true. They got land before they conquered Jericho, because the lands that they fought for with Moses, as a matter of fact, they took those lands and because of their cattle. And Moses said, fine, but we still have to go forward towards the Jericho. What's going to happen to your other brethren? And they promised that they would take care of their families and cattle and then go forward with the children of Israel to Jericho. So they didn't get the land after they conquered Jericho. They got it way before. Okay, continuing. Verse 8. And the border went up by the valley of the son of Hinnom unto the south side of the Jebusite. The same is Jerusalem. And the border went up to the top of the mountain that lieth before the valley of Hinnom westward, which is at the end of the valley of the giants northward. And the border was drawn from the top of the hill unto the fountain of the water of Nephtoah, and went out to the cities of Mount Ephron. And the border was drawn to Baalah, which is Kirjath-jearim. And I'm going to say this, even though all of these names, we may not even have them on our maps today, we don't know exactly where they were located. Like I said, lands were conquered, names were changed, even people were changed. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll just take it for what they have stated here. Verse 10, and the border compassed from Bala westward unto Mount Seir, and passed along unto the side of Mount Jearim, which is Chesalon, on the north side, and went down to Beth Shemesh, and passed on to Timnah. And the border went out unto the side of Ekron northward, and the border was drawn to Shikron, and passed along to Mount Bala, and went out unto Jabneel, and the goings out of the border were at the sea. And the west border was to the great sea, and the coast thereof. This is the coast of the children of Judah, round about according to their families. And unto Caleb the son of Jephunneh he gave a part among the children of Judah, according to the commandment of the Lord to Joshua, even the city of Arba, the father of Anak, which city is Hebron. And Caleb drove thence the 3 sons of Anak, Sheshai and Ahiman and Talmai, the children of Anak. And he went up thence to the inhabitants of Debir, and the name of Debir before was Kirjath-Sepher. Like I said, a lot of these names you may not ever see on a map, a modern map today, but the names have changed. The regions are still there. The land doesn't disappear. The names have just been changed. Going on with verse 16. And Caleb said, he that smiteth Kirjath-Sepher, and taketh it, to him will I give Achsah my daughter to wife. And Othniel the son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, took it, and he came and gave him Achsah his daughter to wife. And it came to pass as she came unto him, that she moved him to ask of her father a field. And she lighted off her ass, and Caleb said unto her, what wouldest thou? Who answered, give me a blessing, for thou hast given me a southland. Give me also springs of water. And he gave her the upper springs and the nether springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Judah, according to their families. Okay, now I'm not sure why they included this part with Caleb and his daughter, but I guess there was some significance back then, because maybe daughters didn't usually get land from their fathers while they were alive, I guess. Remember when the 5 daughters, I forget which tribe, I think they were of the tribe of the, oh, I don't want to say it wrong. But anyway, they had land. They asked Moses for land because they were girls, and the father had no sons. According to those days, the land would be passed on to the firstborn son. So now that they were only girls, Moses said, you know what, it is just right that they should inherit their father's land. And God allowed him to make a new law that would be the case. If there were no sons, let it pass on to the daughters. So I guess they're mentioning that her father, being still alive, gave her land because she asked for it. She maybe was a daddy's girl, a favorite, who knows. You know, sometimes fathers are more soft-hearted towards their daughters. But any which way, it's mentioned here. And that was of the tribe of Judah. Okay, so they said, verse 21, and the uttermost cities of the tribe of the children of Judah toward the coast of Edom, southward, were Kabzeel and Eder. All right, so here is the list of cities, starting from verse 21. From the coast of Edom southward, I'm going to go all the way through down, and I'm going to go to verse 63. It ends there. From verse 21 to verse 63, they are just listing cities. Oh my goodness. Those were the cities of Judah. I don't know how many. I don't think they give a number. But I'm telling you, from those 21 to 63, 40-something verses, that's a lot of cities. And there's not just one city named in each verse. There are like 3, 4, or more. That's a lot of cities for one tribe. That's why I'm saying we don't know the vast land that was inhabited by the children of Israel. I mean, ancient Israel. Okay? We have no clue what their land consisted of back then. They were widespread. Okay. And verse 63, remember I jumped from 21 onto 63 because it's all a list of names. Okay? And here we go. As for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the children of Judah could not drive them out. But the Jebusites dwell with the children of Judah at Jerusalem unto this day. Now that Jerusalem, I do not know if it is the Jerusalem in which Jesus tread when he came on earth. I don't know if it's the same situated place. That was a Jerusalem that existed way before the children of Israel got there. It may be, it may be not. I don't know the geography well. Okay, but that is the last verse of chapter 15. It's a lot of lands listed that were conquered. So we see how God, and that was just for one tribe. That was just for the children of Judah. They say they did not drive out the Jebusites. I am not sure why they could not. I'm not sure if that's what God allowed, that they should not be able to drive them all out, but for whatever reason they did not. Don't know if that turned around to bite them later on, but that's how it was. So that's the end of our reading for today. Again, what God has for you, he will make a way for you to get it if you just keep trusting in him, holding fast, and not giving up your faith. So again, remember, faith comes by the hearing of God's word. So until our next reading, have a great day. Bye.